Good evening and welcome to the Paropod. You're listening to episode 71. This is one of our recommended film episodes. We'll be recommending and then reviewing Andrzej Zalewski's On the Silver Globe later on in this episode, if you care to stick by.
In about an hour's time.
If you've watched it, fair play.
Fair play.
It's intense. It's an intense one. And there's a lot to discuss there. But until then, it's going to be a bit of Brown Town, a bit of shy talk. You know yourself.
A few movies, you know yourself.
Few movies, whatever we've seen.
We're into the third calendar year of the Paropod.
Yeah, the third year, yeah.
So, you gotta know by this stage. First episode recorded in 2022.
So futuristic.
I know, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
2022. I feel like 2021 just didn't happen. Right. Which was a worse year, do you think? 2020 or 2021?
2020. No, 2021.
I think 2021 was worse.
It was worse. 2020 had some kind of novelty to it, at least. Because everyone was like, oh, what's going on here? I'd say it's because, like, the most we hear about, you see, like, the memes, 2020 was such a bad year and all. But, like, every year's had that. It's like, remember when 2016 was the worst year of all time?
Yeah, well, this was because Trump got elected.
Trump was like, oh, all these celebrities are dying and stuff like that. And then 2020... But, like, I feel like 2020 was a lot worse for, like, people, like, in America and stuff. With no support. And they're fucked, and they're all getting absolutely riddled by coronavirus. We had it. It wasn't great, but it was all right, and it had a bit of novelty to it. 2021, complete letdown, because we thought we'd be out of it, but then we weren't. All of a sudden, we were sucked back in.
I felt like, because my dad said this as well, he's like, there was hope, and then it got pulled away. Multiple times throughout the year.
Literally, yeah. It's like 3 times, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and like... our government just decided to just become somehow step up the cunt tree, say.
Yeah, the cunt factor has just gone up.
Yeah, the cunt factor went right up. Just like
different level. The rules. It's like they're testing us, seeing how far they can push it.
It's like, do you want me to like guillotine you?
You're asking for it, man. Yeah, like the new rules they have in place now as well. Like they're trying to cut back. Like, see the way the Americans cut it back to 5 days. If you have COVID, you have 5 days off, and then you have to go back to work. And they're trying to do that here. And then the minimum alcohol pricing, that's the one thing I thought the Irish people would never stand for. But we're all just taking it up the bum.
That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, though.
You would hope, but it doesn't look like it, It does not look like it. Maybe one of these days something will happen.
Like, I love Ireland, right? Why... Like, what reason are we so expensive beside tech companies? Like, what as a country do we have going that invites people to come here and to justify being as expensive as we are?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just the multinationals, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the boys. Because they pay huge salaries. Google and all, Microsoft and all their engineers, people in the tech, IT people.
Yeah.
They're making crazy money. And they're like, it doesn't matter. I'll spend all this money. There's a demand there. Plus all the fucking housing people. Like, what the fuck is that about? Come on, man. Give me a gaff.
Give me a gaff.
Give me a bloody gaff.
Give me a bleeding gaff.
And even like 2022, if it can't get, what are your thoughts actually? Well, like, how are you sort of envisioning 2022? Do you have like a positive outlook? Is it going to be a great one? Is it going to be a year of redemption? Because I was just thinking, it's like, this is the year Leo Varadkar becomes Taoiseach. That's the one thing that's decided in Irish politics. He will become Taoiseach again this year.
I don't know if 2022 is the redemption year.
2023.
I think 2023 might be the redemption year.
We'll get it next time.
We're
1 week. We're not even a week in. This year's written off.
4 days into the year, just writing off. I don't know, because don't they have that like COVID cure pill thing?
The pill.
Yeah, that if you have COVID, you can take it and like eradicates or like lessens.
Yeah, they said that with the vaccine, didn't they?
I suppose they did, didn't they?
They say they didn't say that, but they actually did say that at the time, wasn't it? It's like, this will end the whole thing, but it actually kind of didn't.
Like part of the reason why it didn't is because of like, terrible countries and stuff like that don't have the vaccine. So like, if all the countries don't have the vaccine, and it isn't like equally, sent out, the coronavirus can just develop and like mutate in these countries. So like, the reason isn't because of like anti-mask people or like anti-vax people.
They don't help,
but they're not the reason why it's getting worse. It's because Western countries aren't distributing the vaccine equally across all countries. But they don't want you to do that. They want you to focus on your fellow countrymen and give out to them instead of giving out to the people at top and be like, why are the vaccines not equally distributed around the world?
Give it to the boys, yeah.
Give it to the lads, know? You've taken so much from them already. Just give them something.
Yeah. Come on,
Like,
yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful. I'm
hopeful, but 2021 was bad. It was a bad year.
It was. It wasn't 2022.
Great. I feel like we're gonna cruise for a bit. We're gonna go into cruise control.
Yeah, we could enter into the territory of the absurd, where everything just
collapses in on itself.
Yeah, maybe, but like we're all just like whatever. Like this is gonna happen anyway, It's all just kind of piling in on itself. We're just like, fuck, yeah, whatever. I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, of course that happened. Yeah, sure. Yeah, martial law. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fine.
Whatever. I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Of course it got worse. Like, that's the only way it could go now.
Yeah. Children of men, here we come. Here we come.
Can't wait.
Can't wait
to be in a really cool, like, car chase that's all in one take.
Yeah, one take car chases.
Real life.
We'll all be living in the metaverse, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, right. I saw something about, I've been getting a lot of things about NFTs.
NFTs, yeah. Have you invested yet?
Well, I was going to first ask, can you please explain to me, like, how NFTs even became a thing that people invested in?
Yeah, I think it's just like people securing art with the blockchain. You know the blockchain?
I don't understand the blockchain.
It's all like, Jesus. They maybe do this weird thing at work. I had to listen to like a 4-hour lecture about the blockchain as part of training. Very, very, very weird, but like it's cutting edge technology. It actually is quite useful, I think. It has a lot of applications. That's what they told me anyway. But it's something. It's just like hyper security. So it's very, very tight security. It's like where usually you'd have. It's like a ledger system. So usually you have like one ledger book, and like everyone agrees on that.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, wait. Is it usually have 2 ledger books? Something like that. You have debit.
No idea.
You have debit and credit, but this is one ledger book that's decentralized. So, one person, if someone tries to scam the other and change the number or whatever, and like sort of, add money in or like take money out or whatever, the other person will know straight away. So it's basically impossible. It's like it locks you into a transaction basically. It's hyper secure, supposedly in that way. But I think they got really mad into that because, art. I think art is like a huge kind of money laundering scheme anyway. Like all those.
I imagine that the art world is literally just money laundering.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. CIA, like fucking Chinese intelligence, Russian intelligence. Like it all happens with art and like all those. Like, you ever see that guy Damien Hirst?
No.
He's like the main. You know his stuff. He's like the main kind of like pop artist of like the 20th century. He has He has this like pop. Yeah, or he has this piece where it's just like a shark, and a dead shark sort of like embalmed in a big tank. And it's like the it's a life without, or no, death without life or something like. It's called some stupid term. It has some stupid title. And the whole point is you're supposed to look at the shark and like consider death, And it cost 150 million. He sold it for 150 mil. But you're thinking, like, this guy is churning out stuff which would make a 14-year-old go, whoa, bro, think about it. And he's making 150 beans off it, So that's clearly money laundering. I think NFTs is like a different way of doing that, where you have, lads swapping. It's basically investments, obviously. Like people are putting their life savings into pictures of monkeys. Pictures of monkeys which aren't good. You ever see them?
Oh yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them everywhere. Like
you see better stuff like scrawled on the wall in the back lane. Someone taking a piss on a better work of art, but they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's all purely based. It's like the stock market. It's all purely based on however much people are willing to pay. So there's no actual value attached. So I think a lot of it is just like kind of covering for shady backhand deals and stuff like that, brown envelopes,
Yeah.
I say Birdie Ahern has a few NFTs in the back pocket, something like that.
Mihal's got an NFT of himself, like. Because like I've just been seeing like people like, you need to start investing in NFTs now, but like it seems like the same thing with crypto, where it's just like the only people making money off this are already rich.
Yeah.
Like they're the only, and if someone tries to get you into an NFT, they're trying to scam you.
Yeah, because it's in their interest to get you on board.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, remember they had that multi-level marketing scheme back in, was it the first lockdown? It was one with the flowers.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
And people put up on their
Jesus,
story.
that is a throwback. Fucking hell, forgot about that.
And people have in their story, and they'll be like, "Oh, like I'll get you into this. Like you're guaranteed to double, triple your money or whatever." But they're only saying that because they would make money off you getting into it.
Yeah.
The same thing with crypto and NFTs, where they're trying to get you to buy in, because the more people that buy in, the higher the prices go. Obviously,
it's a pyramid scheme, basically.
It's literally just a pyramid scheme or money laundering. It's like, and even the way they describe it, like you see them on Twitter going on about how it's like the next. Or the next evolution of like Matt Damon did an ad for one of the NFT companies or one of the crypto companies or something like that, talking about how is this like the next step in human evolution or like technological revolutions and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is, you can create content online and securely share it with people using like up-to-date transactions. It's like, that's just a contract.
Yeah.
That's existed for like 10,000 years. What are you talking about? It's just digitized.
Yeah. See, like I feel like the potential for change is there, but it's already been just like capitalism.
Co-opted,
capitalism is taken and just like stripped of its meaning and just made into.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely something there, something to it. But the people, like, you only have to look at the people who are dealing in it.
They're all like, crypto bros.
They're all creeps.
Yeah.
They're just creeps.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone who's actually.
I don't know anyone that has or
that's invested in it. That would admit to it anyway.
Oh jeez, if someone admitted to me that they had an NFT.
Yeah.
Like just walk away. Just wouldn't say anything. Just walk away.
Yeah, that's a workman's smoking area conversation.
Oh my god, I can't wait for fucking nightclubs to open back up, and then I can meet someone that
the
actually
new generation.
The new generation of like workman people. Like, yeah, man, I really got into cryptocurrency and like NFTs, more so NFTs, because I feel like I was once a crypto bro. I feel like you can get into Litecoin, man. I've invested €5 the other day.
Yeah, well, man, you made a profit off that. To be fair,
€60.
Yeah, you jumped off, you know.
What can I say?
The Elon Musk of Litecoin.
What can I say?
That's what people have said.
It's easy. I've been known to, you know, to
it's
spend
only a 3-year investment.
I don't have any Litecoin anymore. I got out when it was good.
Got out with the feet.
Yeah, well, I actually did. When I sold mine for like, I think I got like 60 or 70 quid. And then it immediately dropped and then immediately shot back up way past where I was at. I was like, oh, well, I could have made like 40 more quid, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to input so much to get like a decent, you know, return. It's just gambling, isn't it?
I had quite literally, I think I invested like €200 or €250 into it, and I got 40 quid back.
Yeah.
Like 40 quid profit or whatever, 80. Oh, sorry, I got like 60 quid profit.
Yeah, the returns over time, return on investment, the ROI on that. Yeah. Think about it, man. It's just gambling.
It is just gambling.
You know, like if you like 10 grand and you go in and you put like a bet on Man City to win the next game, you're gonna get great odds. You're gonna make money, but like that's easy because you have so much money anyway. It's like, I made 200 quid. It's like, how much you put down? 10 grand or whatever. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Why did you do that?
That's no use to me. You know, that's no use to me.
Yeah, dirt. Fucking dirt.
But sure, look, you know, that's the next step anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where we're going.
More heads to put on the chopping board.
Just anyone who talks about crypto.
Yeah, just anyone that mentions it or like has an NFT like in their profile or something like that.
Oh god, yeah. Do you get all those junk emails from like MetaMask and stuff? My like junk folder is just full of emails from. It's not from MetaMask. It's like MetaMask is like a wallet, like a crypto wallet. It's from like people pretending to be cryptocurrency wallets and being like, oh, you need to verify your account. It's clearly fake. But like you go on Twitter and it's just like every other post is about like, oh, I got scammed. I don't know how this happened. I've lost my life savings. My kid's college is all gone. It's like it's just like it's like the Nigerian prince scam, but brought to an entirely like an absurd degree, you know.
Man, those scams were fucking wild. I remember my phone. I got a phone call off a number, and didn't recognize the number. So like as always, if I get a phone call number off a number that I don't recognize, I don't answer it, and then I Google the number to see if like something comes up, and the Garda headquarters came up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like the number, like the exact same number.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's a bit power. I was like, hold on. But that's the number that you ring them on. Like, I was like, they're hardly ringing me from the number.
They just have one phone.
That you contact them for. Like, they hardly do that.
No one can call them.
No, yeah.
Like they're on phone to you.
I'm like, own. And then I went on to news and I was like, oh god, she kind of announced that they will never ever ring you from the number that you're meant to call. Like, it's not like you're getting a phone call from like 999 or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I remember when that was going. That was like the start of lockdown again, wasn't it? Back when everyone was getting those calls.
They've stopped now.
Yeah, they've cracked down on that. I remember I got a few from the Department of Social Protection.
I got that as well.
Right, they just called up and there's a robot voice going, "This
PPS number.
This is the Department of Social Protection. You need to verify your PPS and all this stuff." And I was like, the Department of Social Protection, like that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I got for 5 or 6 times. I was just like, that just doesn't exist. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it does exist. Maybe I'm in trouble. Oh, that was about the pup, but like it was just a scam. Obviously.
That's what I had because like I had I think it was like the Department of Justice or something like that they said
it sounded like a science fiction term or something, you know.
It doesn't
but
sound
that's the
real.
actual name.
Yeah, it just sounds sci-fi. But they're just like, there's been unusual activity on your PPS number, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But okay. and then they're like, you're being investigated for drug trafficking. I was like, a grand hang up.
Grand.
No, that's
Let
bullshit.
me know when the verdict comes out.
Yeah, those scams were fucking so annoying, especially because like it's now gotten to the stage where if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer. And Amazon was ringing me, being like, the delivery man was trying to ring me because no one was in the house.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh fuck! And then I rang him back, and it's like I got an automated like. It was like he could ring me from the number, but when I rang him, it's like, this is Amazon customer service, whatever. I was like, oh shit! So like, where the fuck's my package? My neighbors, but like still, you know,
it betrays the trust.
Some presents almost didn't arrive. I'm just saying, yeah, fucking stupid robots, fucking scamming people, making me not trust my fellow delivery man.
Would you say there's AI scam bots out there?
100%.
But are entirely like they're not looking after. It's not. There's no one behind it. It's just like an AI that got out into the system. Yeah, it's like the Phantom from the Cyber Chase, Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase.
Yeah.
That's in the system and just like collecting money for like fucking Smaug in The Hobbit or something. It's like Skynet waiting to pounce, collecting capital somewhere in the telephone.
Maybe
lines.
not rogue, but there's definitely like AI that's being used to scam people.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like,
but like independent AI.
Independently. Maybe, man. Maybe that's what they don't want you to know. Like, what is it hoarding for? Or is it just
what's
like,
it waiting for?
Because it just sees it as the most rational thing to do in this world.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta
scam
hoard,
old people.
Scam old people.
Yeah.
Get that college tuition funds, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Might start that myself.
Jesus. Yes. I wonder how difficult. Wow, I wonder how difficult it is to set up an AI.
Well, how difficult is to scam people? Obviously, not very hard.
Yeah, obviously. Well, if you just see your Nigerian priest, Nigerian prince, they used to get people. So I don't know. Yeah, scams. I don't know. They just seem dodgy to me.
Yeah, there's something about them.
I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah, I don't know. But you watched any movies this week?
20 minutes.
20-minute intro.
Well, yeah, I've been watching a few movies. I went to the Stella on the weekend. I went to go see
Stella.
You threw me there for a second. I was like, that's not West Side Story. I saw West Side Story. Which one is that? Is that Streetcar?
Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah. But Spielberg's new latest hit, West Side Story. Pretty sure the film that he came out with before this was Ready Player One.
Jesus. That film is cancer. Visual cancer.
I feel like it is. I feel like it was. I don't think he came out with anything in between.
Yeah, there's nothing else to be doing. It's mad that he actually did that.
It is mad. Well,
seems like
Ready Player One or...
Well, Ready Player One. Like, this is obviously a passion project.
Ready Player One being a Steven Spielberg film makes absolutely no sense to me.
I think it makes sense that it'd be a Spielbergian film, but the fact that he actually directed himself rather than passing it on to like your man who did Jurassic World or anything like that. Like, why did he do that himself? Like, it's like a rip off of his old films and like loads of other random films. Like, why did you direct that, man?
Yeah, he must have got paid major money.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
NFTs. You got paid in NFTs.
Ready Player One is an NFT.
Could be.
But West Side Story is like a passion project he wanted to make for years, and it's alright.
Is it
like,
passionate?
It is like he clearly gave a shit about this film. This film is stunning. Like the costumes are amazing. The sets are fantastic. There's one bit where I was looking at it, and they're like dancing at this like kind of boardwalk, and it's like gnarled and it's like coming, like it's like metal like coming up and around towards them, if that makes sense. Like it's
Yeah.
like wrecked. And I was like, oh, I was like, before they walked to it, I was like, oh yeah, that's like cool use of green screen or whatever. But then they just kept walking to it. They were underneath it, looking up and stuff like that. I was like, oh no, this is a set. Like this is a
They built the set.
like they built this.
Yeah.
And it's like that feels good. It's not CGI. Like it's an actual fucking set.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. Yeah, it's like more tactile. It's more like
it feels
authentic.
more alive.
Yeah.
It feels more alive. West Side Story, a musical that I know absolutely, well, I know what the story is now, but beforehand knew absolutely nothing about. It's a fucking weird musical.
Yeah, isn't it like I don't know anything about it.
It's about like two gangs,
rival gangs, yeah.
And it's like basically Romeo and Juliet. But it's just a weird film. Like Ansel Elgort is the lead, which is, God bless you, Steven Spielberg. You've been wanting to make this film for years, and it got pushed out once because of COVID, and then your lead got cancelled
in the middle of it.
In the middle of it, and you just had to release it, and just like he's barely on the posters.
Oh really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the poster on Letterboxd, he's not on the poster for Letterboxd.
That's mad.
And like the posters that they have outside, like you can, if you know who Ansel Elgort is, you know it's him. But like, you kind of have to do a double take to make
Wait,
who
what
the fuck is
what
that?
did he do again?
Miners, texting loads of miners and stuff like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, grim stuff.
Fucking hell.
Like a lot.
Yeah. Jeez, that's grim. God rest him. He's fucked now. Yeah.
And he's probably never going to be in the film again.
Yeah.
Apparently as well, like, I heard this, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard this, that his girlfriend was being paid to stay with him throughout the press run for this film.
Being paid to stay with him. That's
a
a handy gig.
Because she wanted to break up with him, and they were like, we need you to stay with him just until this film is out.
Yeah. Well, is she famous?
I don't know, she is. She must be something famous, I have no idea.
They're just paying him.
Paying
her anyway. Just keep him happy, like.
Yeah, it's just
you can't commit suicide before this film comes out.
Just be around him, please. But yeah, so like weird shit like that. But like the weirdness of Ansel Elgort does not help the story of this film, because like it's about this boy and a girl who like meet at this dance and then like instantly like fall in love with each other or whatever, and then he's part of the Sharks, or no, he's part of the Jets, and her brother is the leader of the Sharks, or maybe I have the other way around. I actually don't care if I have that the other way around. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So like he shows up at the Rumble because the Jets and the Sharks are gonna have a fight, and like, okay, he's gonna stop this. No, he doesn't. His best mate ends up spoilers, but like, who gives a shit? It's West Side Story.
He's 60 years old. Yeah.
He kills, or his best mate gets killed, and then he kills his like girlfriend's brother. He stabs him in retaliation, and then he rocks up to her apartment. And at this stage, she has now found out, either the scene beforehand or in this scene, I can't remember exactly when, that he has killed her brother. And she like snaps at him and she starts punching them. And then instantly they start having sex.
Oh.
Like within the same scene.
That's kind of Freudian, isn't it?
Like what? Like,
is that from the original?
That's in the original.
Maybe in the 50s I'd be like, or even in the 50s, you're like, why?
Like, why would you instantly have sex with the dude that killed your brother, who you seemingly had a pretty decent relationship with this, according to this film? Like, not a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Like, your brother's a scumbag, but like,
he's your brother.
Your boyfriend is also a scumbag who killed your brother.
What?
And she's like, she does not care.
She's just horny.
She's just horny. Just horny, I guess.
Sometimes nature calls.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird fucking plot point.
Yeah.
And then it's just like the relationship between the two of them is weird. And Ansel Elgort being Ansel Elgort only heightens the weirdness of it, because you're like, ooh, that's the guy that was texting all those miners.
Yeah.
But like,
is it set in modern times?
No, it's
period piece.
I don't know exactly. I think it's like the 50s.
New
York is being like, slums are being destroyed in New York, and then they're building like apartments. So I think it's like the 50s or 60s. I'm not exactly sure when. but it is like it's not set in modern times. But yeah, like it's a musical. I'm not really mad into musical films, and I'm not really mad into Steven Spielberg either.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yeah, these are two good things that I don't really like or care about that much. So like put together, like my mom booked the tickets for the whole family to go, and she's like, "Do you want to come to West Side Story?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "I know it's not like you're not gonna care about this film afterwards, but like it'd be a nice thing to do." Stella's a whopper, man. Stella is. Have you ever been?
I've never been. No, I've only heard amazing
so
things.
Comfy.
I had a voucher for the Stella 2 years ago and I lost it. It was like for 50 quid.
Yeah.
I lost it. It was such a shame. But yeah, it looks amazing.
It's mad.
It's like you lean back in the chairs and
Oh man, like if you have an armchair, a big comfy armchair for yourself, have your drink beside you, feet up, just chill out, watch a film.
That's mad. Did you get headsets?
No.
Oh.
I was on a epoxy seat. Like we were like a third row, which wasn't like too bad, but I was on the far right hand side.
Yeah.
So like I was like leaning, like my head was tilted the entire time. But if you're sitting at the back or like in the middle towards the front, say it's unreal. Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stella's good. West Side Story's grand. I'm like, it's a film that like I couldn't really flaw. Like
you can't. Yeah.
I just don't.
Pieces in it. Yeah.
I just don't feel strongly about it either way. So it's like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah. I always used to associate this with or mixed it up with Gangs of New York, West Side Story and Gangs of New York.
That's fair enough.
I used to think Butcher Bill was in. Like this is the one with Butcher Bill in.
This is the one with
it was from school or something.
Like fucking oh my god, Daniel Day-Lewis like like carrying axes around. What the fuck he does in that film?
Yeah. It's like, geez, a bit rough for a teen romance.
Yeah, just a tween romance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I say he's gonna pick up a few Oscars as well. It
Really?
definitely will. It's a Steven Spielberg film. It definitely will.
Where'd they come out?
This year or like last year, 2021.
All right.
Just at the tail end of it, just squeaked its way in.
Squeezing in, yeah. Is the like the Oscar scene's pretty bare this year, isn't it? Feels like it will be.
Yeah, I don't know. When's
It's
the
not
nominations out? Next year? Next month even?
Yeah, they had the shortlist, wasn't it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titan didn't get onto it, or Titan.
Yeah, madness. That is pretty mad.
Yeah, it got
Pandora.
short. But I'm not really surprised because I feel like if any old person watched that, it would kill them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. The entire like academy just dies.
Dies after the first 30 minutes they're dead.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, you know.
You want a movie that would kill you? Did you watch any films that would kill you?
Well, kill me? No. Enthrall me? Stimulate me? Yes. I watched Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary. Quite an interesting film from 1975. It's this weird kind of exploitation film that is like, it's like a joint American-Mexican production.
Sounds good.
It was directed by this guy called Juan Lopez Moctezuma, which is the most Mexican name of all time.
That is the dopest name I've ever heard.
Yeah. Like I would demand that the full name go on everything as well.
Yeah.
It's not Juan Moctezuma. It's Juan Lopez Moctezuma.
And you have to, like, if you're ever saying his name, it has to be everything. It's the same thing as like what's the director of Birdman? Iñárritu.
Yeah, Alejandro Iñárritu.
He has
a middle thing. He has an initial or something.
He's got like Gomez's or
does he?
It's something like that. Alejandro Gomez Iñárritu is something like that. I think he has a middle one. But I remember like during
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez. Yeah, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. And when they were like doing the Oscars, when Birdman was winning all the Oscars that year, like the people were fucking bollocks saying his name all the time.
we gotta get more ads in here. Come on. But yeah, this guy Moctezuma, he did a very. It's an interesting film. I think the synopsis on Google, if you look it up on Google, the first thing that comes up just sums up the film. A bisexual artist living in Mexico stabs people in the neck because her father is a vampire, and that's the entire film. That's it. And like it just like I saw that. I was looking for something to watch, and I saw the synopsis, and I was like, "Sign me up."
That sounds
like,
class.
That sounds great. Because there's so much, there's so much there already. You're already thinking of stuff like a la carte or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, or like the Devils and stuff. And it's like aesthetically speaking, it's kind of like that kind of thing.
Is it pop? Is it what? It's 80s or 70s?
75.
So does it have like the poppy colors?
Yeah. It looks sexy. You know, it's like really vibrant colors. You know, there's a lot of blood obviously because it's kind of about vampires in a way, but she's not really a vampire. She's just bi. She's just bi, yeah. yeah. That's how she wins the day. She's just bisexual. But it has a weird take of vampires where like she's going around killing people in kind of like a hitchhikers, murders kind of way. Yeah. Like she's traveling. She's kind of like a vagrant traveling from town to town. Her Scooby-Doo van kind of thing, like her little VW. And she's just killing men she meets along the way, and a few women, obviously. And her dad's a vampire. And but like the way they operate, her dad's still like they have a scene where she meets like a love interest, and he's a fella. His name's what's his name, Ben Ryder or something. Like the most like white bread
Joe
kind of
American.
Like, yeah, Joe American. What's your name? Ben Ryder. And she meets him, and he goes back to her gaff, and she's a famous painter. And she's like a really skilled painter. And the paintings in the film are actually you know, usually when you see paintings in the film, you're like, I could have done that. You know?
Yeah.
But like these are
like an NFT.
Yeah. But like they had an actual painter come in and do all the paintings for them. She's listed as one of the first credits, and she has all these paintings in her gaff. And he's like, "Oh, who's that?" And she over a fireplace, she has this picture of her dad, and she's like, "Oh, he died, but he died when I was very young, so." The painting looks kind of weird because I painted him from memory, from like when I was a child.
Is it like a Dorian Gray type of thing?
The painting, no, it doesn't really come into it that way.
I thought it was gonna be like something like
that would have been cool though.
Yeah,
that would have been very cool. Now the thing is, like, he just looks weird because he's a vampire, and he is still alive. But they have a weird kind of like take on the vampire thing because like her weapon of choice is just she has like a hairband almost.
Oh, hairband. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, she has like I don't know. She has a hairband anyway, and it's like a metallic. It has like a knife in it, so she pulls it out and like stabs him in the neck.
That is like basically like Titan is like she has a chopstick, basically a metal chopstick in her hair. So
yeah. And so she does like that. But the vampire, her dad, has like a shank. He just walks around. He doesn't go with like the fangs. Just like go straight for the neck. You just walk. He like
shanks you.
He sort of shuffles around and then shanks you, and then you just keel over. Everyone's like,
"How old is he?"
Oh, he's mad. Oh, he's like, no, like 100, but like he's
how old?
He's like 50, 60s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's just kind of, he's like
It's so funny.
He's like the man in black from the Halloween kind of thing. He has a big like broad brimmed cap. He has like big cloak. And just kind of, it's like it's all shot in daylight, or most of it anyway. And so he's just shuffling around in the desert, like shanking people, like in like a just like sort of shuffling around. It's pretty funny, and like there's always hills, and the person gets shanked, always falls down the hill. It's very good, and yeah, there's not much more to say about it, but it's a good film. I really enjoyed it. It's like a real kind of like I wouldn't even because it is an exploitation film in a way maybe, but like it doesn't treat it like the whole bisexual aspect of it. Like she has like a romance with a girl. That's like kind of the main sort of plot point in like the second act in the middle of the film, and that's where things kind of kick off, and like the police are suddenly kind of on her trail. But and you obviously have like sort of gratuitous sex scenes and like nudity and stuff like that.
The boobs.
There's loads of boobs. Yeah.
Sick.
And there's like a jacuzzi scene.
Sign me up.
There's mirrors everywhere. It's almost like it looked like a porno at one point. I was like, I hope no one walks in, because it looked just straight like a porno. But
there was many times during like watching Crash, I was like, please God, don't let anyone walk into my room.
Yeah, how do you explain that? Like, I was just gonna say, Owen's making me watch this mad film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mark's is making me watch this fucking movie.
But
it's for episode 69. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But like it's like it is a bit gratuitous, but like it's just, I think it's kind of a 70s kind of thing though. I don't think it's the film doesn't entirely hinge on that aspect of it. I think it's treated quite well, and it doesn't fall into all the old kind of tropes where like she's the evil one, or she gets all her gets what's coming to her at the end of the film. She's very much a heroine, she's very much the hero.
Anti-hero?
An anti-heroine, yeah, and the whole thing is she's basically fighting her dad.
Yeah, it's like parental stuff going on there.
Yeah, parental stuff. parental trauma or like the patriarchy, stuff like that, and has a pretty kind of cool ending. It's at the end. The last shot is actually pretty cool. It has like this kind of a weird. It's kind of like pop art, you know, like the fucking. You know the one that Warhol did of like Marilyn Manson and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's just like a flash of that. Like, like right at the end of the film. It's like just the colors is. I was like, oh, the pretty colors is very good. You
That's sick.
It's great.
Where did you watch this?
It's actually it's on YouTube. High def, HD,
dope,
1080p.
Man, the amount of films that are just on YouTube now.
a lot of diamonds in the rough. You know, that we'll probably never see. But I only found this because there's this podcast, which has kind of like a similar taste to us. It was like did it like months ago, so I was like, I'm gonna steal that. You know?
Yoink!
Yoink!
Take that, and I'll take that, and I'll. Oh no, that's. Yeah, it's always good when you find a podcast that has like similar things that we can jump off of.
Similar vibes, yeah.
Similar vibes, you know. It's all about the vibes. And do you know what? Do you know what decade had really good vibes? Well, really bad vibes, but really good vibes.
What?
Early 2000s. We shit on the early 2000s a lot.
We do.
But the early 2000s did give us the greatest film ever made.
Shrek 2?
Well, that, and also the first Resident Evil movie.
Ah.
Because we are beginning our journey into the Resident Evil franchise with our first step, Resident Evil 1.
Naturally.
As all good places start.
With the first
one.
When was this from? 2004?
2002.
2002. Not bad.
Old film, 20 years old this year.
Jeez, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, fucking hell.
Yeah.
We're so old.
Man. Oh, this film is bitchin'. That's the only way to describe Resident Evil. Bitchin'.
Yeah, I've never seen Resident Evil.
It is...
Much to my embarrassment.
Like, we got a new metal soundtrack.
Oh, very good.
We have the worst CGI you have ever fucking seen in your life. There's like the lickers is what they're called. There's these like big monsters that go around the place. They look so fucking bad. There's like the CGI fire towards the end of it as well. It looks like a PS1 cutscene. It is chef kiss.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was like a GameCube game that came out around the same time, which was a remake of the first Resident Evil film. Quite literally, the cutscenes in that game look better than some of the special effects in this film.
Cutscenes on the GameCube look better.
Oh, like they look bad, but hey, that doesn't matter because this is like, it's kind of a.
What's it about?
It's about there's this underground facility that's like underneath Raccoon City. Umbrella Corporation. Raccoon City.
What?
Yeah. Oh man, wait. When we get into this franchise, you're gonna love it, man. Then like there's a T virus, which is like the virus that causes all the zombies.
Uh-huh.
We get to see what the T cell looks like. It's literally a little T. Like it's just a little T cell. But the first one, right? So Umbrella Corporation, huge, massive corporation that are in like medicine, education, entertainment, military shit, whatever. They're in everything. It's like every house on the globe owns a product that is like made by Umbrella or like one of their companies, whatever. Huge corporation. So naturally, they have a top secret underground facility that's beneath a hugely populated city that houses and feeds and like works 500 scientists who are like experimenting and doing all this shit. And it's called the Hive. And the T virus, which is an experimental bioweapon, is being tested down there. And it breaks loose.
Wait, this predicted the pandemic.
It is, yeah. You see this, right?
What?
And just like in real life, the AI system went rogue and decided to kill every single person in the facility.
Oh man, that's the next step of this.
Yep.
2022.
That's what the NFTs are going to turn into.
yeah. The blockchain, man.
The blockchain. We're next to the chain.
They're going to hack our genes.
Blockchain, chop block.
Think about it.
It's like when you rearrange words around, they say the same thing. Yeah. So then we get a a SWAT team, like Umbrella Corporation's like top security team, have to now go in and shut down the Red Queen is the AI's name. Have to go in and shut her down and get the T-virus and get the fuck out of there. However, problems ensue where
come on.
The access point that they're coming in from is a mansion, and there's like 2 security guards that are stationed there, but both of them were also attacked by the Red Queen, and they're like knocked out and they don't remember anything, which is Alice and some other fucking dude. Alice, Mila Jovovich, is our main character.
Yeah, I know her.
And she goes in, and for the first like 30 minutes, it's basically a sci-fi techie haunted house where like they're walking through this like top of the range facility, and it's like bright white and all that type of stuff, but like no one's around. It's real eerie, like the tension, which like this is Paul W.S. Anderson, you know, not a great director.
Yeah.
In this film, because like the opening is so like when people at the start of the film are dying, they are getting their shit wrecked. Like there's a woman that gets her head stuck in a lift, and then the lift jolts back up and decapitates her. Like you don't get to see the decapitation.
I hate lift stuff. That happens in real life.
Yeah, it happens in real life.
Yeah.
Like you get your hand stuck in.
Or people get like halved.
Halved.
They get halved, like in Scary Movie 3.
Yeah, like it, and like she's like screaming for help and it's intense, and then she fucking dies. Whatever.
Jesus.
Like it starts off like super violent, so like the tone is kind of set, and then from that stage is like the situation goes from like already really bad when they're walking into the facility, and then slowly like gets worse and worse and worse. There is a phenomenal scene where they go into this little glass kind of corridor, and the AI system is just like letting them think that they're after hacking her and that she doesn't have control of like any of the security anymore. And then when all of them walk into the room, she closes the 2 doors on either side, and then a laser shoots in. And laser shoots in and cuts one fella just straight in half. Like, or no, she cuts her head off. Decapitation. You get to actually see the head slide off as well. This is a 15s film, mind you. Like,
yeah. How'd they do that?
I have no idea. I think like they had as much violence as they could get into a 15s film.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have any cursing, so they were allowed to get away with it.
Yeah.
And then like this one dude's like dodging all the lasers, whatever, and then like the laser comes back at him and it's only one beam, and then it just turns to his side and turns into like a net of lasers, and he's like, oh fuck, and then he just gets like the AI system is fucking with him. He gets diced, and like you can see him, and then you just see the lines forming all over him, and then the camera goes past him and you can see his shadow just flop down like into multiple different pieces.
At least it was quick. It's better than getting half.
Yeah, better than getting half. Like,
still alive.
But like just that is just like just
that's fucked.
You didn't show it, but you showed enough that like my brain can now, you know, fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff like that, and like then zombies come into it then as well, and like monster zombies come into it. It's just like I always watched this film. I thought this is like a shitty film, but it's like it is a shitty film. It's like cheesy as fuck, and the film is well aware of it. Like it has, maybe at the time it thought it was being cool. It's not anymore. It's really endearing though.
Slow-mo.
Oh, there's slow-mo.
Slow-mo.
There's slow-mo.
This is post-Matrix, you know.
Yeah, this is post-Matrix.
Yeah.
Afterlife, I'm pretty sure like 50% of that film is in slow-mo.
Yeah. You just speed it up. It's like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, genuinely. I'm not even joking when I say that. It's like a 5-minute scene that's all in slow-mo.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Resident Evil, it's better than I remember it being. I think that like I don't really like peak 90s vibes. Like I don't really enjoy that. But peak 2000s, like this new metal,
it has a charm. It does have a charm to it, you know?
There's something vaguely nostalgic to it.
There's something innocent about it. Really. Something really innocent. Because it wasn't as I don't know, as like...
This film was made pre-9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been made pre-9/11 and it came out.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, maybe things were just more... less, like... I don't know. pessimistic.
Yeah. It's also a
Maybe.
video game movie. Like,
Yeah, I remember the mansion and stuff like that from playing the
the game.
game. Yeah, like on holidays and stuff.
Mm.
You'd have the
They're
guns,
barely in the mansion.
and you'd be shooting at the thing.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember I was pretty good at that.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah, it was. I used to love that game.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking peak 2000s in a really good way. Not in the Bushian kind of way.
Not the kind of problematic racist kind
Yeah.
of.
It's really not like a
yeah.
female led film. We got
What?
in the 2000s. Shocking, I know.
What?
What's her one's name? She's in Fast and Furious and she's in Avatar.
You're one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're one. She's like the tough.
Yeah,
She's like the,
the tough
She's the
Latina.
butch kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in this as well.
Yeah. She's in loads of those films. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's like the go-to for that.
Yeah, she's the go-to for like video game, sci-fi.
Strong female character. Yeah.
But yeah,
What's her name though?
I don't know her name. No,
Yeah.
we need to know her name. She's probably
We need to
Michelle
call her.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, how do I know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel dumbass not knowing her name.
Yeah.
That's when you know that we're bad with names. We can't even think of Michelle Rodriguez.
That's how you know we're
name.
misogynists to the core.
Yeah, pigs. not like Resident Evil though. Just like Paul W. Sanderson, like Mila Jovovich is his wife, and
Yeah, that's mad. Isn't he in like an old fella?
he's not an old fella. He's just not the most attractive looking man.
Yeah.
And Mila Jovovich is Mila Jovovich. But like, I don't know. I think that they would have been married at the time. I think that they were. They've been
Really?
married years. Like they've been married a long time.
Would it not have been like a Tarantino, Uma Thurman kind of thing? That's what I would have assumed.
Mm.
Where like just kind of familiarity. They kind of got together.
I don't know, because they've been with each other for years, and they stopped. Like Resident Evil very clearly became like a passion project between the two of them.
Mm.
Like they both really gave a shit about the franchise. Like he's just like the first shots that you get of Mila Jovovich, he's just like, look how hot my wife is. Look at how hot she is.
Like a Rob Zombie kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in a way that's just like, it's not like, because Rob Zombie does that, but his aesthetic is greasy and dirty and grimy, and it feels more exploitative
yeah.
than in pristine like Mila Jovovich walking around a mansion naked. Like it's a bougie ass
Oh.
thing. So it's good though. Resident Evil, like the vibes are immaculate. I can't wait to talk about the fifth film. That's one of my favorite films. The fifth film is one of the best films ever made.
Really?
Like unironically, it's one of the best films ever made.
What's it called?
Retribution.
Retribution.
The
Yeah.
names are so bad.
I'll have to join you. How long are they?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. That's very good.
Mhm.
I'll definitely. I'll
They're all
hop on
90
that train.
minutes.
I'll hop on that train
Mhm.
because they'd be widely available, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you know.
I'm sure they're on everything. I think some of them are even on Netflix.
Oh, really?
At least the CG films are.
Uh,
There's a CG film. I can't remember which one it is, but there's a scene where they have a conversation for about 5 minutes about how good Breaking Bad is
in the film.
in the film. They're just like, Breaking Bad was one of the most like groundbreaking pieces of TV ever
It's like,
made.
what are you doing? It's an ad.
Yeah, and one of the guys is like, yeah, man, it's one of my favorite. Walter White, I love that dude.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's so.
So it exists in the Resident Evil universe.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Like Breaking Bad exists in the Resident Evil universe.
That's so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
9/11 didn't happen, but Breaking Bad did.
They just kept all the good stuff.
Yeah, just pick and choose what we wanted. Tupac is still alive. We go for a break.
We'll go for a break.
And now on to our recommended film of the fortnight. We are here talking about On the Silver Globe, directed by Andrzej
Zalowski,
Mad Bastard.
Polish fella, did Possession, which Owen talked about previously on the
Which
podcast,
we may talk about again soon.
which we may talk about exactly perhaps next week.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what the future holds? But yeah, this is not his follow up. This is not his follow up at all.
No, it's not. It's a
Not
film
even close.
Film he made. Well, hold on, wait. This
He
plot
made this
description.
before.
A team of astronauts land on an inhabitable planet and form a society. Many years later, a single astronaut is sent to the planet and becomes a messiah. This is On the Silver Globe. He made this film 1977, I think it was.
77.
And then didn't get to complete it because the Polish government at the time were like, yeah, scrap this shit now, son. Stop making this. And so production was pulled. There was an order to destroy all the costumes and sets and everything, but the film, and even the film itself, but the film crew was able to keep bits and pieces of it, and actually got to keep everything that they had finished to that point.
How did they manage that?
No idea. They hid it in their homes and warehouses and stuff like that. They just hid it everywhere that they could because they're like, this is a good movie. It's a good movie that shouldn't have been stopped. And then years later, Zulawski got all the footage, cut it together to make a film, and then the bits that were missing, he just fills us in through like just telling us what it is.
Narration.
That's
narration over B-roll of random civilian life in Poland at the time. In 1988. That's when he did that. He's
moving around mad quickly with that camera as well. Just zooming in.
He's buzzing around. Everyone's probably like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
What the fuck is this weirdo doing?
But then it wasn't actually remastered or subtitled in English until 2016.
Really?
Yeah, this is only... In the English-speaking world, this is a very new film.
Did not realize that.
I read that somewhere.
I didn't see that.
Hopefully that's accurate.
Hopefully, I'm sure it is.
Because I feel like we probably would have heard about this if not. Because it's not like it's not something you know about anyway. On the silver, I'd never heard of it anyway until you mentioned it to me.
Well, like I'd never heard of Zulawski at all until you heard about like Possession, because Possession is, you know, quote unquote one of the most disturbing movies of all
Video
time.
nasty.
It's a video nasty. It's not really, it is a disturbing film, but not for the same reason that other video nasties were disturbing. And then, like, from that, I was like, what else has Zulawski done? It's like, oh, he has this unfinished film that got released. And it's like...
You know it's good if it's unfinished.
His own quote-unquote masterpiece, if you actually got to finish, I was like, that sounds class. And then I was able to find the link. I was like, okay, let's do this.
The link is actually very good as well. It's amazing quality.
Great quality.
And, like, the subtitles are on point.
Yeah.
Perfect subtitles.
Only problem with the subtitles is that when it's the narration and he's, like, flying, you know, around, there's bits where, like, the screen is very white and you can't read the text.
Oh, right.
I struggled with that.
I didn't notice that.
I can't really read that, but very minor complaint. Just a side note on subtitles. West Side Story and French Dispatch both have scenes where, like, they're American films, and, you know, I don't care. Obviously, I don't care if you have, you know, someone speaking non-English.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't give a shit about that. But if you're an American film, maybe ingrain subtitles into the film rather than leaving it up to places to have a version of the film that has subtitles. Because both French Dispatch and West Side Story had scenes where they were talking in, like, Spanish and French, and there was no subtitles.
Like full scenes.
Full. There's a bit in West Side Story where one character is telling the girl that her brother is dead. Obviously a very important scene. Didn't catch a word of it because all of it was in Spanish and there was no subtitles. Because obviously, like, if they're getting, like, American films or whatever, they're not getting a subtitled version of it because then it will all be in subtitles and they don't want to do that. If you're an American filmmaker or if you're an English, you know, speaking filmmaker and you're making a film that has a bit of foreign language in it, ingrain onto the scene the fact that there's going to be fucking subtitles. It's minor complaint, but it's happened to me twice now. I'm like, fuck this.
Twice in a week.
Twice in a week, literally. I was like, well, don't know what's going on here.
Come on, guys. We're better than that.
Maybe I should just get more educated and just learn languages.
Just learn French and Spanish. It can't be that hard.
I ain't got time to learn languages. I'm too busy watching your movies. Spielberg and Wes Anderson. But yeah. On the Silver Globe, what did you think?
Alright, first impression. I was an hour into this film, and I was thinking, this might be the greatest film I've ever seen in my entire life.
I was like that too.
I was like, whoa, this is just like, this could have been made like the other year.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, it's a science fiction story, but it's not like, at least the first hour anyway, it's not like mad abstract.
It's not like 2001.
Yeah, or even Stalkers. It's way more kind of like interactive, or way more like, there's way much more going on than in Stalker. That's really fast paced, and like the dialogue, or at least the subtitles are like, it's really like loads of pretentious monologues, but they're so well written, and it's really amazing.
They're kind of like Shakespearean.
Yeah, they're like soliloquies, and even like not even just in like conventional like genre sense, as like a science fiction film. But like in terms of form and like the way the film looks, like the like kind of like eerie like blue color palette,
Yeah.
and like the like sort of disorienting cinematography. It looked like in an Inuritu film. It looked kind of like The Revenant, from what I remember. The Revenant was like, it's like, it was mad, like almost like panoramic shots, like swerving around, like a lot of focus on like this like desolate landscape. And we shot around like the Black Sea and like the deserts and stuff like that. And like the whole thing feels like a film from outer space. Like it is from like a different time altogether.
And even like because the way it depicts this landscape, even though it's shot like on Earth, you're like, this feels like it's shot in space.
Yeah,
or like not space, but like, you know, it's shot on the moon or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
some other planet. Like
it just feels alien, which is incredible.
It's bizarre, and because like they're all speaking Polish, obviously, or like I think it's Polish.
I assume it's Polish, yeah.
But I was like, I just wasn't used to seeing that kind of thing, like a Polish film. I've never seen any Polish films, but I was like, I just didn't imagine Polish cinema had this in it, you know?
Yeah.
I was blown away. How could they have made this in 77?
Yeah, that's the thing.
77.
Like, if you look up, like, just look up on Google Images on the Silver Globe, and like, it's immediate. Like, this film looks insane.
Even the set design, like the costume design is incredible as well.
Yeah.
Like you have these kind of because it's set up as like just like a very, it's not a basic, it's very like generic, but not in like a disparaging way. Very generic kind of sci-fi setting where these three kind of dissident astronauts fall into this like this alien planet which happens to be habitable, but like even the suits they're wearing and like the world around them, like everything's so tactile. And then you get like into this as the story develops, you have like these kind of like alien pagans. It's like gothic paganism. And even like I thought their designs were like, or the clothes they wear and all, I thought that was insane. It's halfway between it's like it looks like a caveman but also looks like aliens at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know?
And like I think an important thing in sci-fi is to have like a sense of scale, or like what you're watching like feels like it's taking on like a big topic. And this film is literally like, here's the beginning of life on this earth, and it feels like you're just watching it like you're watching the start of civilization begin.
Yeah.
And it is like, and you get the feeling like this just feels massive. Even though it's like shot like small locations, it feels huge. One thing that I noticed, like just off the bat, is there's one scene, like, so most of this film takes place in the desert.
Yeah.
Like at the start until they get to the seaside. But so like they're like talking about like, oh, there's no life on here, or like it's all desolate. And then they say like, it's like there's an intercut scene where Zulawski's now telling you like what's happening in the missing pieces, and he's like, oh, then the rain started to pour down, and then it cuts to the astronauts in a mountainous area with green all around them, like going down this river because it's meant to be like a flash flood that's happened, but like there's a bit, the film isn't perfect because there's bits like that where like
it's bits missing. Yeah,
it's like, well, they were in the desert the scene beforehand, and the intertitle or the narration in between has just mentioned that it's a flash flood that's happening, but the landscape that they were in has completely changed, and then they're back to the desert afterwards. So there's bits like that where like
it's jarring. It is jarring.
It is a bit jarring. Like it's not, and like that's a complaint against the film, but it's also an incomplete film. So how, like, if this was the finished product, like probably, you know, that would have been explained and like tidied up, or whatever. It would have made more sense. So like any bits that I have like complaints about, like the cohesiveness of the film, which is a problem that we're going to get into in a bit. Yeah, is kind of pulled back with the fact that, like, it's an unfinished film. Like, how much can I really?
Yeah. Plus, it's hugely driven by, like it's a really emotive film. It's not really distant kind of thing. Even like the way Stalker would have been a film that is like, very much, it's more spiritual than it is scientific.
Mm-hmm.
It's like spiritual fiction rather than science fiction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is kind of like a distance to it.
Yeah.
There's kind of like everything is perfect. Everything is clearly set up to the
immaculately crafted.
Yeah, it's an immaculate film. This film isn't. It's like way more like, you're not looking at the scenes and be like, oh, this is exactly what the director envisioned. Like the director clearly went through, like, this is one of the first films ever shot on Steadicam. The director clearly went around with the camera strapped to his hip and was just kind of like walking around. And like,
and you can tell, like,
and it's shot like it's also a found footage film as well for the first hour, which is just insane. And the way it's done, it's shot the first hour is shot from first person. So the characters are talking directly at you, and they're going on these mad monologues about like life and death and like the universe and stuff, but they're like looking directly at you.
They're like pleading at the audience nearly.
Yeah, and it's not just the words that they're saying. It's like the facial expressions that it's all about the emotions behind the words rather than just the words themselves. It's like decoration. So it's not like a completely formalistic film. It's more like it's a very much a vibe,
Yeah.
I think it's not really something that I would have taken away from it in terms of like, because it's really kind of thrown together. Like, you can tell it's not a finished product at all.
Yeah, because that's definitely like Zulawski's style, and you'll see like when you watch Possession, like Zulawski is all about heightening emotions, and like the actors are overacting, but like they're doing it on purpose. Like they're throwing themselves on the ground, like crying out to the universe, like, like all their pain and suffering and stuff like that. And like for the first hour, it is a bit jarring. It is jarring when they're like looking at the camera and they've been talking, like, they're talking to a character, but they've been going on a monologue for like 2 minutes, just like looking at the camera and acting basically. But I love it. I think like the way that it's a similar thing to Tarkovsky, where like Tarkovsky's like, let the image evoke an emotion. Zulawski's like, cut that shit out. I want you to act as hardcore for this emotion as you can. Heighten it, make it really tactile for the audience to like get it immediately. Like, the pains of that your character is going through.
It's way more immediate than something like Stalker, because like I think you could do this as a TV series.
I feel like it should have been a TV series.
It should have been, because like the setup is just absolutely perfect. Like three astronauts lost on this desolate wasteland of a planet, and you don't know what's happening, but you know there's some kind of mythic element to it. Like it combines, or like it's like a reimagination of the 2001 kind of concept, where it's like, this is the dawn of civilization, but like this is like the dawn of a civilization in the future.
Yeah, by humans,
and you're like, what's going to happen here? And it's found footage in 1977.
Yeah,
but it's basically found footage. I'd describe it as found footage.
It is found footage because it's like it's people getting this like sci-fi tape. And that's like, because all the astronauts have cameras on them, and they are like, it's not like it's like they pick up the cameras and they'll like look at the cameras like they do in like found footage films, and we're just like rewatching the memories of these people basically. And it is just like, what an ingenious way to start the film off, just by like immediately doing something experimental and doing it extremely well,
Yeah.
I loved it the first hour.
But then you have, but like at the end of the film, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
I have no
the last
2 hours.
Fuck is going on.
I have absolutely no idea what happened the last 2 hours. I looked it up. I still don't know what happened, really.
Yeah. And the problem is that like, it's not like, Eraserhead, we're like, oh, what the fuck happened there? And you can just Google and you can find out what's going on. Not many people have seen this film, and there's not a lot of explanation to what's going on.
Yeah, even the explanations that, like, I saw a few of them, they were just completely, just didn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, I wouldn't have read it that way at all. Like, whatever. I think it's just an incomplete, like, I think it's just a film that wasn't finished.
I
think it's just, it's as simple as that. I don't think this is actually a film that was meant to be watched, or the original intention was for it to be watched anything like as it appears before us today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because the second half of the film, like the synopsis you read out there, like that sort of, it's a good synopsis of the film, but the film is two films, really.
Yeah.
And that's because it's based on novels written by Zalewski's, I think his granddad or his uncle or his granduncle, one of that, Jerzy Zalewski, who was actually a pretty big Polish kind of artist in the early 20th century. He's part of the Young Poland movement, which is kind of like a nationalist revival of Polish culture just before World War One. And it was kind of like a focus on romanticism and stuff like that, but it also had these science fiction influences.
Yeah.
And he was writing sci-fi books, and he wrote 3 books called the Lunar Trilogy. And the first one is called On the Silver Globe. The second one's called The Conqueror, and the third one's called The Old Earth. This film is an adaptation essentially of the first 2 books.
Okay.
But the third book isn't in the film at all. I was reading about it, and the books are very, very different. Like, this adapted it in the books are very kind of sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
And the film takes in a very different direction. It's way more kind of heroic or like mythical,
epic.
Yeah, it's an epic, and the books are way more kind of like about human relationships, but like retaining the same kind of themes. But the book series, it's a trilogy, which was intended as kind of like a holistic piece of work. You know, you can't do that without including the end of the work.
Yeah.
So you have the first part and the second part, but you're missing an end, which I think is just like the missing piece of the puzzle. In some way, because the first part is so good. It's amazing. Yeah. It's an amazing setup, and it's so well. Everything is perfect about it. But then the second part is like this is clearly an entirely different story.
Yeah.
And if it does relate to the first part, we're missing a lot of context and a lot of
we literally
way back into the first one.
We quite literally are missing the connecting piece in between, because like we're following these characters. I can't remember the characters' names, but there's 2 guys, 1 girl, and they start having sex because they're stuck on this island, and they start like having kids, and the kids are growing up quicker than regular human life, and like she's able to give birth to kids quicker, and obviously there's clearly some incest going on because
quite a lot,
way more kids start propagating it around the place, and like this small tribe of I loved that, like the way that it depicts this like sci-fi Stone Age, the only way I can describe it, is so fucking cool. Like, because you can see they have like these birds, these like big black birds that are around the place, and they cook them and they eat them. And then a couple of scenes later, their clothes, it's never brought up, but their clothes are all feathers from the birds like there. And you can see like the bones being used in like the little hut that they've made and stuff like that. Like, you can see how this civilization is beginning from like taking literally from what's around them, and a culture begins to form from that. Even the way that like one of them ends up dying, and then there's only 2 of them left. The old man, who's eventually becomes known as the old man, and then I think her name is Martha.
Martha,
is the woman, and then the third guy, whoever the fuck his name is, when he dies, the youth begin to mythicize him.
Yeah,
is that the right word? Mythologize him and be like, oh, the great father. And then when Martha dies, like the great mother, laid her legs down, and like valleys were formed and stuff like that. Like, and then the old man is like, he's seen as like a demigod, like this eternal wisdom kind of. And then when he eventually dies, like they make myths about the people that came before them, which is quite literally what humans did in reality, and it's where our religions and stuff come from.
They build up a religion around. So it's like a cult, and it's all based off the fact that because obviously it's all set in the alien planet, and the original astronauts came from Earth, so they're all talking about
how great Earth was.
Yeah, like Earth, like nostalgia for the home world or whatever. But then like the overarching message. Because the astronauts came there in the first place, because it's established in the opening, or the kind of the intro scenes, that the Earth is some kind of like vaguely dystopian shithole.
Yeah. it's not great.
Yeah, they basically
They fled.
yeah, they wanted to leave, and so they came there as a kind of a way to start again.
Yeah.
Something to do with that anyway. They basically wanted a new start, but you know, the whole thing is they fall into, or humanity and the new generations fall into the old cycles where they're mythologizing the past. A past which has no relation to them, and Earth obviously is not a good place to be. You know, in the film, but at the same time they're building up an entire culture around that, and they're falling into the same old traps. It's actually worse than it was like from the world in the world that they actually came from.
Yeah.
There's a scene where I think the first son, I think he asks, I think he asked the old man, it's like, oh, what was Earth like? And the old man's like, Earth is in you, or Earth is the love I have for you. It's like this Earth, you can't escape Earth because Earth is
heaven on Earth is literally like Earth is here. Like Earth is basically like
Earth is in you. Is
a Garden of Eden or like a heaven. Like heaven on Earth is, you know, it's in you, it's in me. Like that's how they start talking about Earth.
Yeah.
They essentially just form Christianity.
Yeah, but it also works in the other way in that like Earth was a shithole, and now we're here, we're mythologizing Earth, but we're all products of that shithole that we just came from, and like, you know, we're not going to achieve anything by looking up or looking back and trying to kind of like deify this thing that is in all of us and wasn't great in the first place. So like, you know, it's all that kind of thing about like, repeating the cyclical time, repeating mistakes and stuff like that.
I think as well, it's like it's that they were trying to escape, you know, human error. Like like Earth became the way it was because of human error, and so they tried to flee human error and, you know, start up somewhere else. But those errors are inherently human. Yeah, they're like, so they replicate again.
Oh wait, we're human.
Oh yeah, shit, we are human, and we're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna fuck up.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Like the cycle begins anew. Yeah, because you know you can't escape what is inherently you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw a lot of readings. Like this film is like mainly billed as in the context of the way it was censored by the Polish Communist Party or the Polish Communist government, which is like
it's a bad reading of the film.
Yeah, because that's the way they read it.
Yeah,
the censor read it as like, I think there's a particular scene where they fight. It's like the second part of the film. They fight these huge bird monsters that live across the sea. That's a different. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get on to
that. He interpreted that as the people of Poland fighting for, you know, liberty or whatever, like Western values against the Polish government. And so he was like, you have to fucking can the production. This is it. Like, this is like, you can't, this is blasphemy against the state. But like the film is still kind of built in that way, but I think it's completely a complete misreading of what's actually being said, because there's nothing about like the state or nothing about external kind of pressures. It's all about humanity, like within, like internal to the characters in the films.
Yeah,
you know, it's not about like they literally arrive on a fucking, it's a blank slate. There's no state. There's no one holding them down. There's no hierarchies or anything.
Complete freedom.
Complete freedom theoretically, and it's about how they reproduce that through faults in themselves. It's almost it's more of a like a pessimistic critique of like individuality or like humans in general,
or the idea of freedom.
Yeah. Rather than being like, oh, the state is evil or whatever, because there's no state at all in the film until the second part. The second part is like that's a hodgepodge of like fucking mad shit, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, the second part of the film, I guess we'll get on to. So like, Marek, I think his name is
Marek. Yeah.
Our protagonist is introduced in a narration very quickly, and it's like, yeah, Marek received the tapes that the astronauts had recorded. Don't know how he ended up getting them, but he ends up getting them.
Jersey sent them back before he died. He stuck them on a rocket.
But who are the fellas are on the planet in the very first scene? Who are those two dudes?
I was going to ask you that. Yeah, I don't know.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I don't know who they were.
I think that is Marek though, because they look the same, don't they?
Maybe it is Marek, because like after some brief fact checking, no, it wasn't Marek at the start of the film.
Fact check.
So don't know who the fuck those two guys at the start of the film are.
Well.
And I don't know how Marek ends up getting the tape. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Marek ends up getting the tape, and he's come down to Earth because he too wants to escape. But when he lands down, they're like, "Oh, so you're from Earth?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." It's like, "So you're like the Messiah. You're the second coming of our ancestors. You know, the Great Mother, the Great Father, the Old Man. You're one of them. You're a deity amongst us." And he's like, yeah, I am.
It's like, yeah, why not?
I guess
Why
I can
not?
be. And I can be a god on this earth, basically.
Yeah, the second part is basically Dune.
It is.
Even the
isn't
costumes are Dune-esque.
it? Yeah, they are Dune-esque because they're on
you
a
know?
desert,
Yeah.
like
And they have the
sandy beach.
kind of weird locals are like, oh, you're the Messiah.
Mm.
And he's like,
They're all.
yeah.
They're also right. One thing that I liked about this film as well is that like the tribe that is formed is like there's a space there where it could have been really racist because of the way that they're depicted. Like they're depicted like
They're on a blackface.
they're not in blackface, but they're like ethnically, you know.
Oh, they got the fucking mud on and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we all did back in the day, you know.
But like that's the thing is like I don't.
It's Celtic stuff. It's Celtic influence.
But like it's depicted. It's just it. There's no opinion on the tribe people at all. Like they're important,
yeah.
but like it's not about.
It's like anthropological.
Yeah.
It's like they're just there.
They're just there.
part of the
Like
environment.
that's like you look at them like, yeah, that makes sense how they would have turned out that way. Like culturally, religiously, all that stuff makes so much sense. Which is a little I just like the way that the film depicted them as like, you know, like people from like Africa or like, you know, some, you know, Amazonian tribe or whatever. But like it's not like, oh, these people are bad or anything like that. It's like, no, these people just are the way that they are.
yeah. They're not savages.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not savages.
They're just living on an alien planet.
That is it. They are not. The
They're from a
tribes
different
people
time.
aren't savages. That's exactly it. But yeah, then it just gets mad confusing
Yeah.
because you have no idea what is going on because you're just dropped into this. Like you're told, like Mark lands onto the rock and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Jesus, whatever." But then like our introduction into Mark in the second part of this film is that there are way more tribes people around, and they are carrying him on this like big massive float and this kind of procession type of thing, and you're like, what's going on? Who's Mark? Because we haven't been introduced to Mark yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a confusing film.
Yeah, because it's
from
kind
that
of
point.
it's kind of about colonialism in the second part.
Yeah.
More than anything else. Because this is the part of this is based on the second book,
Mm.
and this is part of the film that the Polish censor was like, this is against the Communist Party. But it's more about colonialism, I think.
Yeah.
Because straight away Mark lands and he's like, I think it's like the tribal chief is talking to him about like how one of the tribal chiefs talking about how the guy before him made a mistake in not trying to expand and see new lands and stuff like that. And there's a scene where they all go off on boats, and they discover that there's like these weird fucking bird people who live across the sea, and these giant birds,
The Shern or whatever.
the Shern, yeah, and they carry them away, and like they take their women and all this stuff. And so Mark makes it his business to go on a jihad basically against the Zerns. So he rallies all the fucking tribes people and goes to war with these strange bird people, which is just such a dramatic, like formal and like tone shift from the first part of the film, because the first part is so austere and kind of like building up to something, and then you have this massive explosion, which maybe through no fault of the director, comes out of absolutely nowhere.
Quite literally comes out of nowhere.
Comes out of nowhere. He has to explain it in the film.
And like there's so much going on. You're like, I don't know what. There's like rocks that are like they're teleporting through rocks or something like that at one stage. And like Marek is going on these massive monologues again, but like you don't have the context of the scenes beforehand to give any context to what he's saying. Really,
there's no weight. Yeah,
there's no weight.
All the weight is gone. Like.
Because you haven't spent enough time with them.
Yeah, there's no dramatic heft, because there was obviously at the start, because it's such an easy concept, and you have the material there, like the footage is there, and then the second part, like he's going on. There's a scene where he's interrogating a bird guy for like a good 10 minutes, and he's just battling his own insecurities and the fact that he's being looked up to as a god, but he's just a normal guy, and he's going on this massive soliloquy talking about like life and death and like how he,
my meaning in the universe.
Yeah, meaning of life, and it's just like, oh man, like I'm just like you're not invested. I wasn't invested.
I wasn't invested, and because I wasn't invested, I wasn't really paying attention to what he
Yeah.
was saying,
I was
which
like,
made
come
it even worse later on, because it's like I now have lost interest in what's going on, and I'm now even more confused, and I'm less pushed to try and figure out what's going on because I have to do so much catching up, and
Yeah, if you miss 5 minutes, you're very you're very turned around basically because you don't know what's happened in the previous 5.
Excuse me.
And they have that guy. This guy shows up out of nowhere. Basically, he's driving cars and he's listening to rock music.
Okay, genuinely, that was bad. Like that was actually bad. Like that music choice.
He's listening to rock music.
He's like, and the car doesn't look sci-fi at all.
It's just a car from the 70s with like spoilers on the back.
Yeah, and like spikes on it. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And it's like fucking Dazed and Confused music.
Yeah.
No, right, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like balling around on this desolate earth, and just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because he's not even a character that was mentioned in the narration beforehand.
Yeah, Avi is his name or something.
Yeah.
I think his name is Avi. But like, I thought that was like switching back to Earth because you have like buildings and all and that.
Yeah, you
have a car
and
which looks like a car. Technology.
And like technology in the buildings as well.
Yeah. But it turns out it's actually on the alien planet, and he's like we're still in the second part of the story. I honestly I don't know how that guy ties into any of the film.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't even know if it's like more people, like more humans from Earth showed up or not, or if it's just like, was he part of Mark's squad or something? But how are they? He's in a bunker underground that has like it looks like a NASA room. Like they have like computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this then? If this is on the planet, if this is on the alien planet, how is that there?
Yeah, it's like a control room. Yeah, because isn't he getting communications from? He's getting communications from Mark, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I think he is.
See, I was so confused at that stage.
But like, it's all dilapidated and stuff.
Yeah, it's been there for years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea.
But then he showed like the end sequence of the film. Like he's on the planet.
Yeah, like
So,
he's
like,
talking to Mark. Like
he must. Yeah, he's talking to Mark. He must be on the same planet. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's just because like, it's in this foreign language, man. I just didn't have the attention span to watch. You know, I feel like that was maybe my fault anyway.
Well, it happened to the two of us.
Yeah,
So.
maybe it's the director's fault. Yeah, but it was. It has so many good quotes, so many amazing lines. You know.
Do you have any there? Do you?
I have a few.
Go on.
Well, the guy with the car. Like he's just sitting around at one point, and he's like fading away. I don't know why. He looks all strung out.
Oh, he went to one of the tribes people, to one of the chiefs, and he's like, I'm suffering so much. I need something to help. And your man's like, here, take this, and pops something into his mouth. And then he gets up and he starts like smiling and laughing. And then he goes on his little joyride.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, that guy gave me something bad.
Yeah, you got spiked.
Yeah.
You know, like the mistake, how this reflects on humanity, human nature. He's getting spiked on an alien planet.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah. But he's just sitting there and he's slinging out all, like, he's doing this philosophical stuff. He's like, every reduction to physiology is a fascism of the soul and stuff like this. You know, like really heavy hitting lines. And I was just like, that's intense.
That's a line.
I don't know what he said after that because I was writing it down. But don't know how it related to the scene, but like, and the beginning of the film is full of loads of stuff like that. You know, even that line about like, Earth is my love for you. Like I think that just sums up the film. Like, Earth is all of us, man.
Yeah,
we're all Earth.
We're all at home,
and we're all very flawed. But I think this film takes a very kind of negative. It's a very, very pessimistic film, and not in the way like, the Polish government is bad. It's more like humans are bad, and we're always going to be bad, and there's no way to bounce out of the loop.
Yeah, which I guess comes from living under like an authoritarian regime.
I suppose. Yeah, he's been beaten around a bit.
Yeah, and like possession is even more explicitly about Poland, in a sense. Because it's about like it's part of it is about the wall and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think another thing that like makes it more confusing is I'm not 100% sure how much time is passing, like at all. Yeah, because it feels like a lot is happening, but the characters aren't really aging, and like it feels like what is happening feels like it should be happening over a course of years. But it's happening really, really quickly. And that's not because of like how quick the like humans on this non-Earth age. Like Mark is doing shit. You're just like, this feels like this should be taking longer. Although maybe it is just that part of the thing where like Zulewski's like heightened emotions. So it feels
yeah. Well, it's definitely like a plot point, like a plot device anyway as well. Because he needed a way to speed it up. And there's a way to like, very handy reference point for like the characters of the tribes people to be like sort of referencing against the like the mythological figures still exist generations after they first sowed the seeds of the civilization. But it is kind of confusing. I was like, first I was like, how's that working?
Yeah,
it's like old.
Yeah, it is a bit like old. It is a little bit like
on
old.
The beach and all, like.
Yeah, literally on the beach. Yeah, actually, Shyamalan.
Yeah, Shyamalan, you fucking fraud.
And then Marek is obviously like a Jesus figure.
Yeah, messianic. Yeah,
even more obviously when he gets fucking crucified because they're like,
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, he literally gets crucified at the end of the film
because it's like, you're not a god, you're just a man, and they just fucking they stone him and then they fucking crucify him.
Yeah, that's mad gory, that bit. And then
Jesus, it is.
There's all these people impaled on sticks.
Ah, man,
that was fucked up.
That shot. So there's like all these people on these massive sticks, like being impaled.
Yeah, I was thinking, how did they get them up there?
They got them up there, and then the camera, like one of them is still like alive, and he's like, it's like the camera's like on ground level, and one of the guys, you can hear like someone talking, but you don't know who it is, and then the camera pans up, and it's one of the guys on the sticks, like just talking about whatever the fuck he's saying, and then the camera on a crane just goes up to him, and then like goes like. It's a
close up, yeah.
It's a close up of his face, and then it pans up even further, and you're like, "Holy shit! This guy is so high up off the ground."
Yeah.
Like he's actually like that high up as well. Like he's the way this film is shot, and like those type of bits is incredible. Like
it's insane.
And it happens even in the second part. Like there's a bit where like there's like these half bird, half man kind of creatures that are like, I can't remember what the fuck they're called, but
the Zerns.
But they're the cross. They're like
the Morks.
The Morks. Yeah, the fucking names. The Morks. There's a bit where like Marek is like interrogating or talking to a few of them, like trying to appeal to their humanity, because he's like, the Zerns don't have any humanity, but you are half human, so you do have some humanity in you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the earth within you. Speak back to me. What do I do? And there's just a bunch of them like in this cave, and it just looks really cool. Like this image of all these like half human, half bird people, just all in chains, and Marek is like standing on top, like waving his arms. It just looks class.
Yeah, it's the cinematography and everything. It's just incredible.
The film this could have been, man.
Oh yeah. Forget about like Jodorowsky's doing all that stuff, because like that they didn't even start that. This is a film
80% completed. Yeah,
where you can see where it was going, and like I can imagine how he might have like you can see what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
it's very there's like actual proof.
Yeah, like it's literally in front of you.
It's not like, oh, this would have been great. It's like, this is great. Imagine how much better it could have been if he completed it.
Yeah, and if there was more context to what's going on, which could have been done if the film was completed.
Yeah. But like it's like an insane epic. It's one of the best science fiction films I've ever seen. First hour, anyway. First
hour is the best science fiction I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love the first hour.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been TV series, like a Decalogue kind of thing. I don't know, like, but it's just like, wow, that was insane. Yeah. The first hour.
It would have been mad long though, because even as it is, it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like you might have cut it back, because there is loads of extraneous scenery, like the stuff that you didn't.
All that shit out with your man driving the car.
Yeah, forget about Avi. Fuck him. Who cares? You know. Get on. The third one apparently was supposed to be about they go back to Earth, the old Earth.
Sick.
Like things go to shit on the new Earth, and so they're like, we got to escape, so we're gonna go back to old Earth, because old Earth is obviously heaven. You know, it's like.
Oh, we're going to return to heaven.
So we would have completed the cycle.
Yeah.
That was initiated at the start of the film.
That would have
like
been
that.
Sick.
Just saying that there, it actually sounds fucking amazing.
It sounds fucking class.
That would have been just like Marek's whole going mad kind of jihadist, crazy kind of like, on the side kind of thing. That would have. It doesn't work at all as the second half of this film, but it could have worked as like kind of like the crescendo. Like this is the point where everything peaks, and then suddenly you're falling back down.
Yeah.
And things kind of loop back into each other at the end of the film. The film is a cycle.
Yeah.
The way the film works itself, the whole theme about cyclical humanity and the way we're always repeating mistakes, they literally go back to Earth and figure out that, oh fuck,
Oh shit,
everything's fucked.
we're back where we started.
We're back where we started. I think that would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been phenomenal. It literally would have been the greatest film ever made.
It could have been if he kept that consistency. Like, my
Yeah.
God, what a shame!
It is
What
such
a shame!
It's such a shame.
Maybe it's better incomplete.
Maybe it is because like, what if it was
What if it was
complete?
shit? Yeah,
Because like that's part of why this film is so good is because it's like what could have been, but
Yeah.
it could have been great. It also could have been shit and could have been an incoherent mess
Yeah,
like this film kind of is.
it kind of is. But the first half is so well put together.
Yeah,
There's not a foot put out of place. You know, like there's like the themes are like just encapsulated in like multiple different lines. You know,
Mhm.
I think it's so well written. It's so well shot.
So well acted.
So well acted.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another line actually. There's one that I saw at the start of the film. Where they go, Are we the last of those with power, or are we the first of the defenseless? I was like, what? How did you pull that out of your arse? It's like, it's just a perfect image of like, are we going to be able to recreate? Are we going to be able to create utopia here? Or are we waiting for the fucking onslaught that is inevitably going to come from what we're about to do?
That is such
You know?
Are we the last?
Are we the last of those with power, or the first of the defenseless?
That's such a good line.
That's like that. I was just like, whoa. I was like, this is insane. I was about to text you an hour in. I was like, this is the best film I've ever seen. And then it just all went to shit within about 5 minutes. Within about 5 minutes, I was like, what is happening here?
The same thing. I did the exact same thing. Where it's like, this is the greatest movie ever made, and I was like, oh, this isn't. Oh no!
Oh, no.
I could see it slipping out of my fingers. It's like, oh no!
Yeah.
Oh god, it's like that last episode of True Detective. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's still good though.
It was a great journey.
Yeah, great journey.
You know.
Very emotional journey, not in terms of the actual film, but like my feelings towards it.
Yeah. What could have been? Yeah.
Oh, so much hope. Oh, jeez. Will we go through the listener questions or do you want to do news?
Yeah. Well, there's no news, is there?
Morbius, I guess.
But Morbius go. Forget about Morbius.
Morbius.
They'll be alright. Our Morbius stands can, look it up themselves.
Yeah, they already know. They're already heartbroken.
Yeah.
There's literally no news. Like, I was trying to find news for like 20 minutes, like good solid research of 20 minutes today, trying to find news.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing. There's literally just, Morbius is pushed out. I was like, okay, that's it.
Slow news week.
Yeah, this is slow news week. There's like,
Morbius.
I saw something like Apple bought something that has like Brad Pitt. I was like, I don't fucking
Who
care.
cares? Yeah. Who gives a rat's?
That's not the type of boiling hot news that we like on this podcast. Unlike our boiling hot listener questions. If our listeners want to ask us something, Mark, what do they do?
They can ask us on Instagram or on Twitter at paro_pod, or they can email us at theparopod@gmail.com.
Unreal.
That's it.
That sounds really easy. More people should do that.
More people should do it. Get on board.
Our first question is coming in from Mary. Shout out to Mary.
Shout out.
And Mary's asking us, what are our New Year resolutions?
New Year resolutions. I'm not big in the old resolutions. So I make resolutions every night before I go to bed, and then I break them every afternoon when I wake up the next day.
Yep.
So like New Year resolutions, I do them all the time, but they just never work out for me. I don't think I've ever actually done one.
I won this year.
Oh really? Yeah.
First time I've ever done, and I'm actually going to commit to this. That is to just read for 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Just like very easy. 20 minutes. Set a timer on the phone, put it down, pick up a book, read. Just for 20 minutes. If you read over that, that's good, but at least read for 20 minutes.
I used to do that like up until I was about 16. Every night I'd read like at least half an hour before I went to bed. Then I stopped doing that for some reason. But I've been reading more recently. What have you been reading? Or have you been reading something yet?
I'm reading that book over there, A Brief History of White People, I think it is. It's like the title of it. That's been on my bedside locker for. I read 25 pages of that book, and then I stopped reading it, and it is good. Like it's like a. Oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Study of like cultures and ethnicities.
Ethnological or something.
An ethnological study of like white people, stuff like that.
Right.
Because it's interesting. Because it's like Greek and Roman people were like the first to write about people, so they defined what was, because they saw themselves as like, you know, righteous. It's like, okay, well, we'll take you as white. And then it's like, oh, well, the Gauls and the Celts, they weren't white, but then eventually they were seen as white. And it's like how whiteness expanded out and like its meaning changed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good historical stuff, you know.
Good historical stuff. It's also, because I'm also learning about like Greek. There's like some Greek writer, I can't remember his name, but he wrote this like this massive book on humans, and it's like, it was very like scientifically accurate, I guess, at the time. But then there's just like the last chapters about like these monster humans that live that like have like one eyes and like have wings and shit like this.
Oh right, yeah. It's like, hey, they're out there. I've seen them.
I've seen them.
I swear, man.
They're just past the Gulf.
Yeah, they're just over there
Yeah.
where those other people live.
Yeah, just out there, all those weird farm people.
Yeah.
They're monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be my only resolution because it's an easy one.
That is a good one. Maybe I'll copy you. Probably not.
I just want to be a slightly better person. Slightly.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah.
That's all we can do, really.
Yeah. I can't even remember.
Incremental stuff.
I'm pretty sure last year my resolution was to read 20 or 30 pages. I think it was 20 pages a day. Now we cut that down to 20 minutes. Because that now means 5 pages.
Yeah, 10 minutes on, Instagram, 10 minutes reading, Nah, it'd be grand. I think we'll make it.
Yeah, also gotta cut out all that wanking, bro.
While you're reading the book, the history of white people.
Something better, bro. It's like the itch.
Oh.
That itch needs to get scratched.
Yeah, our second question is coming in from Neil. Neil is asking, are there any movies that are really good until the final few moments?
It's actually a bit like on the Silver Globe, but it happens an hour in.
It's just like 2 hours before the end. It doesn't really qualify.
Yeah, no. What are some movies? Are there any films? That's a good question.
I know one. The Usual Suspects.
I was just thinking of that, yeah.
The ending of that is shy, no
It's
matter
a
what
bad
people
twist.
say. No matter what people say.
That is a bad twist. I don't care. Like it's a nothing twist. God. Trying to think.
I Am Legend ruins the intention of the book.
I Am Legend is also a very good one.
Yeah.
I have to look up some films.
Planet of the Apes, 2001.
2000.
Ape
Jesus Christ! Yes.
Ape Lincoln.
Yeah, that's it.
Come
That's
on.
the answer.
Come on. But that's not really a good film though.
It's not really a good film, but like that makes a kind of bad, like a kind of alright film into a bad film.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, I thought I'd have more answers to this.
Signs.
Twists can be bad. A bad twist at the end of a film can ruin a movie.
Yeah, they actually can, yeah.
Like I'm not saying that I haven't seen Signs, but like I know what the twist is, and it just makes it into a Jesus metaphor, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just turns into
Faith.
He restored his faith.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was about aliens, man.
Yeah. Mother, that Bong Joon-ho film I watched, not that it turned into a bad film, but it kind of just ruined the movie a little bit. The last bit of that film, like which
one?
Mother,
yeah.
like the last 5 minutes where like things are resolved and you're just like, oh, this is not the ending.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, it was a weird. It's a.
I don't know how
ending.
that's his most acclaimed film.
I don't understand.
I don't get that.
Parasite at all. And like,
Memories of Murder. Like,
Memories of Murder.
Different planet altogether.
I don't know. Yeah, Mother would probably be the one for me.
Ever see Hancock?
Years ago, can't remember it.
The bed. It's not the last few moments, more last half an hour. Completely shits the bed. It's a very good subversive, comedic superhero film.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a stupid superhero film.
Yeah, it becomes like relationships or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's not good.
It is just shit.
It's an alright for the first hour.
I don't know. You know what? Fucking Robin told me about this. Told me about one of her problems with Alien.
Alien.
And it's actually it's an example of this. It's not one that I would ever got when I watched the film, but when she told me about this, it's like, you're kind of right. Like the whole thing in Alien is about like they're all like asexual characters, basically, like their gender doesn't matter or anything like that.
Yeah.
Until the last few moments where there's just an ass shot of Sigourney Weaver when she's like taking off her clothes and just like she's completely unsexualized until like the very last few moments of the film.
Just
gotta squeak it in. It's like, oh, you fucked up that message of the film because it's all about like, you know, male rape and stuff like that. Which is a good example of that. Of like the film not shitting the bed, but like ruining one of its messages, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a message I ever picked up in the first place, but I know
Neither
exactly.
did I, but
I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that does. Yeah, because it was written without any kind of gender.
Yeah.
You know, even the names.
Just
and all.
characters, bro.
Just characters, man.
But you gotta show that Sigourney Weaver ass, you know.
Sigourney Weaver ass, famous ass. Yeah. See that tweet? Is anyone else called Sigourney, or is it just her?
That's what I was always wondering. It's like, I've never
what
heard that
kind of name is that?
And
where did it come from?
No idea. They just pure pulled that one out of their hole.
Yeah, she's a plant.
She's 100% a plant.
Sigourney. What? That sounds like a Dune character.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Paul is a Dune character, so.
I suppose. But,
oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
You know what? Halloween Kills. It was already it was an alright film. They really shot the bed those last few moments.
Yeah. I was thinking, I was like, but yeah, thinking about
really shot the bed.
Thinking about it, it just, yeah, like made it completely irredeemable. I remember looking over, I was like, is this happening? Is this actually happening? Is he getting up and he kills everybody? What
the fuck?
What? I still can't believe that. Every time I think about that, it just gets worse and worse. Oh my god. Like, that was just unbelievable. That was a big twist at the end of the film. Like, how could the writers do that? There's no twist in the film.
I think that is probably the film that has pissed us off the most, because I think ever since we've seen it, which was back in October, we've at least mentioned it every one or two episodes.
Yeah. It was so bad. Like, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I was gobsmacked. That was what a twist that was.
So, out of nowhere.
Twist for the worse. But yeah.
Do you ever recommend a film?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's the name of it? I forgot the name. Oh yeah. And sure, we'll wrap it up there, will we?
I say we will.
For not next week, the week after,
73.
episode 73, I'm going to be recommending a little film called F for Fake.
Oh, the Orson Welles one.
An Orson Welles
dope
documentary, kind of docudrama, bit of fiction, bit of fact. Orson Welles, 1973. This is a film I was meaning to watch this week, but then I was reading up about it. I was like, this deserves, I think, a closer look.
Yes.
So I think I'm actually very excited to watch this film. I had to suppress myself from watching it today.
Yeah, I had to do that on the Silver Globe, because that's when you know the films are good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to be good. I've heard a lot of good things about this film.
That sounds.
Even though I hadn't heard about it until about a month ago.
Yeah, I've heard about this film like sometime last year, and I was like, oh, that sounds class, perfect. I've been wanting to watch this film.
It's gonna be good.
Dope.
It's gonna be good.
Orson Welles as well. I don't think we talked about, like, except for like Citizen Kane.
Yeah, we just shot on Citizen Kane.
It's alright.
It's alright. It's the greatest film of all time. It's alright.
Yeah, it's grand. As good as Paddington 2. Yeah, should we leave it at that anyway?
Alright, so I'll see you next week, lads.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.